So it's been a fantastic day. Welcome back to Conversations on the Couch. I'm your host, B.A. Shepherd, and tonight we are going to be talking about the benefit of painful choices. So if you've ever had to make a painful choice, tonight's going to be extremely helpful for you. I think it's going to be encouraging for you too. So I'm glad that you're here. Good to see you all checking in and just being present. So while you're checking in, I always like to give you a hello, a darling lifestyle. Good to see you. We're across all the platforms on TikTok and Instagram and YouTube, Facebook. So we're everywhere right now. Raquel, good to see you as well. Joe Easton, good to see you. Ajax, good to see you. Tiff, good to see you. So glad to see everybody here. We're going to jump right in. Thanks for the roses already. Kitty Kitchen, good to see you. So tonight we're going to talk about the benefits of painful choices. And this kind of came to mind today. I was out, I took a walk, and I was walking through the cemetery actually. And so as I was walking through the cemetery, I thought about the choices that get made in our lives and how when someone passes away, oftentimes we can be at Ophelia, good to see you. Hey, Joy. We can oftentimes find out the truth about someone when their funeral happens, right? And that time after a funeral and all that, we start to hear things get said, things are mentioned about a person, truth starts to come out. People will say what they really feel. And this kind of, it was sparked in part by my grandfather recently passing away and how we were talking about his life, sharing all these different aspects of his life, talking about his life. And it just got me thinking about choices. What will be said about you when you're actually gone, when your time comes and you have been laid to rest, what will actually be said about you? And I started to rehearse these things. I was thinking about myself, and I was thinking, what would people say? Would they say that I showed up? Would they say that I was present? Would they say, oh, he had a lot of ideas but he didn't execute on them, or he should have been healthier, he should have taken better care of himself, like he should have done this, he should have done that? And people are going to say some things. So, but what will they say? What will I give them an opportunity to say based upon my life? And I ask you the same question. What will people say about you when it's all said and done? When they're evaluating the dash between the time that you were born and the time that you pass away, that dash in between, what will people say about that time? I thought about this as I was thinking about how being healthy, right? In this process of being healthy, we're oftentimes faced with a situation that is going to be a painful one. And many people have told me, like, oh man, I just, it's so hard for me to get going exercises because I know I'm going to be sore and it's going to be painful. And to that, I would simply say, look, you're already in pain. See, the truth is, you're already in pain. You're already having this life that you're living and you're already in pain. The decision to make a change is a change that's going to help you actually live free from the misery of this pain. You ever think about that? Right? Like we can be in a particular place in life and we can be going through life. Again, let's use health and wellness. We may not be physically well. We may not have been really disciplined around our diet and nutrition. And so, our body may not be the way we want it to be. It may not be operating the way that we want it to operate. And we're living with some level of pain. We're living with some level of misery, discomfort, something that it's less than ideal, right? And then we're faced with this choice of, let's just say, exercising or changing our diet, changing our habits, changing our routines, perhaps letting some unhealthy habits go, learning how to manage stress, right? Perhaps we need new relationships in our lives because the relationships we're in, they're unhealthy relationships. And so we know that we're being faced with something that could cause some pain. It could cause some discomfort, even if you don't think of it as pain, there be some discomfort because we're going to make this change. There's something that has to be done differently. Oh, I get it. Now I get to go to the gym. I'm going to start lifting weights. My muscles are going to get sore. I'm going to start breaking my muscles down because I want to be more healthy. Oh, I want to improve my cardiovascular system. So I'm starting to get out and I'm jogging more and I'm walking more and it's taxing on my system. However, the tax that I'm putting on my system now is actually helping me out of the pain of living less than this. We can be in frustrating relationships where we don't see eye to eye with people and it's not very harmonious. And we might think, well, you know what? It's probably, I think I need to break up. I think we need to break up. This relationship needs to come to an end. It's just not ideal. It's not working for me. I feel like I'm losing myself. I'm being broken down. This relationship doesn't work for me. However, there's going to be some pain. There's going to be some uncomfortable, things that we're going to have to manage. So here's the thing. The pain of the change is actually pain that's leading you to a freedom. But you have to make a decision about the pain. We have to acknowledge first, like, all right, this situation, how this is set up, how I'm operating right now, it's painful in the sense that I'm not living as my best self. I'm not achieving at my highest level. Something about this circumstance is less than what I'm capable of having in life. And so you think about that. When you're looking at the dash of your life, what will be said? Will it be said that you just learned how to manage a miserable situation? You've probably heard me say like, oh, you're managing miserable. Like, this is so miserable, but I'll figure it out. I'll learn how to manage it and I'll just get by day. I have all these dreams and I have all these hopes. I have these aspirations, but it's just too uncomfortable for me to launch out, to make this change, to change my atmosphere, to invest this money or whatever it is. We might think it's just so uncomfortable. I'm not going to do it. So I'm just going to live beneath my potential. What we're doing is choosing a pain that is not productive pain. See, when you go to the gym, I like fitness and wellness. That's my zone, right? That's a part of the area of where I thrive, helping people in that area to take care of their bodies so that they can accomplish what it is that they want to accomplish in life. That's what our bodies are for. Our bodies carry purpose. So I like to help people. Hey, let's take care of your body so you can execute on your purpose. So that's why I go back to health and wellness so often. Because when we decide that we're going to choose the productive pain, then it sets us up to thrive in life. The productive pain of doing a few reps, the productive pain of adding some more weight or going a little harder, a little more intensity. The productive pain says, yes, while this is painful, this is freedom. This is leading me to freedom. But in order to get to that freedom, you have to disturb that place that has become your norm. You got to disturb that normal place, the place that you've figured out, oh, I've learned how to live in this space. I've learned how to live with this painful misery. I've learned how to live with this lack of romance. I've learned how to live with this ailment. Like, have you ever, as a massage therapist, have a background in massage therapy. I've learned, I watch people and I watch how they walk or I watch how they operate. And I'll see something, and then in an intake session, I'll talk to them. So tell me about this. I noticed that you were limping. I'm like, what is that from? Oh, I twisted my ankle, a few weeks back, and I've been just hopping along on it. Does it still hurt? No, not really. No, it's actually, it's fine. It feels okay. But I noticed you're still kind of limping. Like, yeah, you know what? I guess I learned how to just move off the ankle, and I just learned a new pattern. And we can learn, right? Your pain, the pain that you experience right now or that you might have experienced in your past, that pain will create a pattern. And you will, if you're not careful, and if we're not careful, we will learn how to operate in this pattern. Like, okay, I learned how to get by. So many people are in relationships where they learn how to simply do life around someone. They're not really connected. They're just learning how to do life around this person. I'm just managing our interactions. It's not really rich and thriving. We just We learn how to pass by each other. We learn how to just get by. We just learn how to manage the patterns, right? Sometimes instead of changing, something with our bed, we could be laying on the bed like every morning. Every morning I wake up with a crook in my neck. My neck is all stiff. Well, did you consider changing your pillows? Oh, I don't have time for all that. Let me just fold this pillow in half and double it over and stick this over here and let me do this. And we learn how to treat the symptoms, but we don't treat the problem. And then guess what? While we're learning how to treat symptoms, time is going by. And then before long, it's become how we operate. And before long, our life has all of these remnants of a lack of satisfaction, a lack of intimacy, a lack of productivity. Our life is lacking because we learned how to simply just operate with a deficiency. We learned that I'm learning how to operate on not enough. I'm learning how to get by with something that really does not sustain me, because we don't want to lift up our voice and we don't want to have the hard conversations, right? So you don't want to have the hard conversations. Oh, I know. Are you satisfied with where you are right now? No, I'm not satisfied with where I am. All right, so why don't you have the conversation? Oh, I just don't feel like it. I do not feel like having this conversation with that person, and we're going to be arguing, and I just, you know what? It's just not that important to me. I can just get by. Have you heard that one before? Have you said that one before? Where someone they just they're willing to give up just to get by. Like, I'll just deal with this pain because the pain of moving forward, the pain of change is going to cost me too much. I don't want the frustration of this conversation, right? Like, I've been living this kind of way. I know if I made some changes with my health, things could be different. There is a possibility attached to this pain. It's a possibility that things could change if I would just go ahead and sign up to go through the process of going through this pain. There's some possibilities attached to it. And so we've been talking over these last few days about removing things from our life so that we could add fulfillment back to our lives. What about if you looked at your life and you began to think, all right, I am this age today. And I know, like, oh, I'm older, I'm 48, I'm 50, I'm 65, I'm 78, whatever age you are. But there's this thing that's been in your mind, something that you want, something that you aspire for. Maybe it's learning how to play the piano, right? I remember like a while back, I had a couple guitars and I had them for years, right? I had these guitars for years. I thought they were super cool. I'm like, all right, I want to learn how to play the guitar. And I had the guitars. I had a bass guitar, I had an acoustic, guitar. And they would sit there and they would sit there. And I would think about, because I just wanted to be able to pick it up and just hit the bass line from I Want You Back, the Jackson 5. That's the reason I bought the bass. I bought my bass guitar because I wanted to be able to play that bass line, that famous bass line from I Want You Back. And they would just sit there and sit there and sit there. And I would think, oh, it's too hard. It's going to be too hard for me to, figure out how to do it. And I don't really know how to do it. And my fingers are too fat. Meanwhile, I went to the store. There was this guy at the store because I was like, oh, my fingers are obviously too big to do this guitar thing. This man was huge. His hands were ginormous. And he was like, I told him, I said, man, I think my hands are too big. He was like, oh, really? So he went, picked up a guitar, and he was like, played it. And I just turned around. I was like, that was a terrible excuse. This guy, he just blazed it on the guitar. I'm like, my hands clearly are not that big. But I was talking myself out of it, right? Talking myself out of it. Why? Because the pain of the process to me was too much. I was like, oh, I didn't want to go through the pain of listening to myself having to play like the scales, right? Just like I didn't want to have to go through the pain of that and working my way up to Mary Had a Little Lamb, right? I didn't want to work through the process. The pain of the process was too much. I just wanted to jump on it and blaze. No, but no, that's not how it works. And so now, years and years later, had I just started the process back then, if I would have started and went through the scales and Mary Had a Little Lamb and, whatever I needed to do, by now I could have been playing that one song that I wanted to play. But the pain of the process, I didn't go through it. And so now today, I live with the pain, quote unquote pain. I'm not dying from it, but I live with the pain of not being able to play a guitar, because I did not start and go through the process 10, 15 years ago when I could have. See, here's the thing. Whether or not you do it or you don't, you're still going to be 1 year older a year from now. Whether or not you do it or you don't, 5 years from now, you're still going to be 5 years older. And guess what? You're going to be 5 years older without a degree. You're going to be 5 years older without learning how to play the guitar. You're going to be 5 years older without the business that you said you wanted to write, or the book, or the business you wanted to have, or the book you wanted to write, or the relationship that you said you wanted to have. You're not going to have the marriage because you never put yourself out there to go on dates, right? Like 5 years from now, you'll be like, how come it never happened? Because you never decided to go through the pain of the process, right? Oh, look, right there. I want to start a band, but I'm scared to fail. I'm not picking on you, but let me just tell you, you failed. Guess why? Here's why. The reason that you failed is because you didn't start. So whenever we don't start, we automatically fail. We've now defaulted to failure. The very thing that we don't want to happen has happened because we never started. That is the failure. There's no failure in starting the band and you not getting a record deal. And let me just tell you, Paris, I think I said it right. Paris, here's the thing. You want to start a band. Here's what you do, right? You go get people together that play instruments, gather them together, play a song, give your band a name, and you've started a band. Like, you don't have to be like the Beatles. That's not the prerequisite. See, the prerequisite is not that you're going to have like golden records. No, the prerequisite is that you just get started. See, that's what matters. You say, I want to start the band. Great. Get some people together, start playing music, you have a band. That's it. That's it. You want to be an actor? Hey, guess what? Turn your camera on and start acting. Stella, right? Like, just turn your camera on and start acting. You've become an actor, right? Like, whatever it is that you want to do, all you have to do is do it, right? You have to do it. All you have to do is do it once. Like, I want to be a speaker. So what did I do? All right, turn on some cameras. Turn on some cameras and start speaking. I am now a speaker. Now, if I want to change the dynamic and say, okay, I want to be an international speaker. Now, what do I have to do? I need to speak in the United States, and then I need to travel to at least one other country. And then when I get to that other country, I need to start speaking there, and I've become an international speaker. Now, if I say I want to be an international speaker that speaks in front of 1,000 people and on 5 different continents, see, that changes it. When we have a chance to do things, and we can change it as we go, but we got to start somewhere, right? Like, oh no, start your band, start it tonight, start it as soon as you can, right? Like, let's not get tripped up. People are like, oh man, I want to be an actor, I want to be a director of films and all this. Cool. Everybody that has a camera, you can be a director of movies. Write yourself a script, get some people around you, tell them where to be, shoot the movie, and guess what? You got a movie. You directed that thing. You don't have to be Spielberg. Like, no, just start. Just boom, let's go ahead. Yeah, hit the boys up. Like, yo, the band is starting. The band is going down. And we're going to, look, get yourself the band, like call it something, get together, turn on your cameras, record it, post it on social, and be like, yeah, we just started our band. Here's our band. Boom. You're on your way. See, before we can ever see, we get so tripped up. Like before we can ever play a full song, we have to play one note. Like your life, your dream, your ambitions, like that's the full song. But you started off with one note. Oh, just start playing the one note. If you play the one note and then you play two notes, then guess what? Before long, you like, look, hey, look, okay, boom, we got three notes going. Just play those three notes. Boom, right there, right there. Okay, cool. All I know is these three notes, right? Like that's okay, right? That's three notes. Somebody else comes along, they're like, hey, I know a couple notes myself, and I can add a little bit to that. Right? Let's not look at life and think that somehow because we have not arrived that we should not start. You catch what I said there? Like, don't talk yourself out of things because you're like, oh, since I haven't arrived yet, I shouldn't start. When you hear it, that doesn't even make sense, does it? You're like, wait, Brian, did you just say, like, because I haven't arrived, like because I didn't start? Yeah. Like you'll never arrive if you never start. Right? You'll never get to that place where you want to get to if you never leave your own driveway, right? Like come on now, like let's break this thing down. Like, okay, well, how do I get to the full song? All right, first I need to play my first note. Well, how do I get to my first note? First, you need to get the instrument. Well, how do I get the instrument? First, I need to go to the store. Well, how do I get to the store? First, you need to get in your car. Well, how do I get in my car? First, I need to get my butt off the couch, right? Like keep walking that thing back and just figure out what's your first move. Like, okay, what's my first move to get to the song? I want a song in my life. What's my first move to get there? I want to lose 100 pounds. What's my first move to get there? I want to get married and be happily married. What's my first move to get there? Right? Like if you're going to live your dash, like think about first moves. What's your first move? If we can start mastering our first moves, then you can say, all right, I made my first move. I got off the couch. I got into the car. All right. So now, once you get into the car, ask yourself again, now what's my first move? I need to start it up. Great. I started up my car. Now, what's my first move? I need to pull all this drive. You see what I'm saying? You keep going back to your first move, because every time you go back to your first move, what you are doing is you are choosing the pain of purpose. You're like, this is the painful process. Not really pain. It's just uncomfortable, right? Right? It's the change. But I like to call it the pain, because you get to choose on this process. The pain of process means there's going to be some struggle, there's going to be some opposition, but guess what? Let's just dial this thing back. Let's bring it back. When I'm sitting on the couch right now on March 8th in 2023, unable to play the guitar because I never learned how to do it, I am dealing with the pain of regret of why. If I would have just taken the time back then and I would have just started practicing, I probably could have been nice on the guitar by now. But now I have to live with the pain. If I want to have a romantic moment and I'm like, oh, this would be so smooth. If I could, I might, somebody catch my eye and I have a guitar and, I'm not a singer. I don't sing. That's not my jam. But if I could play the guitar, I wouldn't have to sing. I can write poetry. So what if I was just in the barn with the horse, my cowboy hat on, strumming some notes, reciting my own poetry? That would have been smooth. That would have been, now I need to like play a song over the radio. Like, got to turn this on because I didn't learn how to play the guitar. See, I missed out on some moments right now because I didn't learn how to do it. Like every summer, this summer included, I'm going to sit there and think about having the fire pit going, having a horse, like the real cowboy image where I'm just like sitting by the fire, strumming the guitar, watching the embers burn. But I'm missing all that because I didn't go through the pain of the process. I didn't sit there and just practice the scales. See, we rob our future of some opportunities when we don't start the process. I've talked with so many women that talk about like the pain of the process, going back to the pain of the process, and they're like, "Oh, I want to lose weight, but." I'm like, "Stop saying that. Stop saying I want to lose weight, but." Like, it's going to be so hard. I'm like, you've probably heard people say like, "Choose your hard." Same. Like, I'm like, it's hard. If you're walking up the steps and you're laboring to walk out up the steps, that's hard on your heart. I'm like, look, forget all the cosmetics. Like, forget the cosmetics. I'm like, no, I want to help you save your life. Right? I want to help you save your life. Like, no, this is why we want to get healthy, because we want to save your life so that you can live your life, so that you can thrive in life. Like, it's not and I don't want to see you in this uncomfortable place, in pain, walking through life, or in pain because you can't chase your babies around or play with your grandkids, or you feel uncomfortable going to the swimming pool, so you don't go. Like, I don't want to see that. No, we're going to save your life. Physically, we're going to save your life, but potentially, we're going to save your life. We're going to save the potential of your life, the things you could do for fun. We're going to save your life. We're going to save living. Because if living for you looks like being able to go skiing and have fun with your family, or going on cruises and doing all kinds of things, and being able to hop, skip, and jump and do, zip lines or whatever it is that you want to do, have the adventures of your life, we need to save that. Now, again, that's my area. I love helping people in that particular area develop healthy relationships with themselves. But it's not just physical, financial, it's the same. Right? You might be looking at your finances wondering why the ends are not meeting, but you're afraid to do something different. You're like, "Oh, I probably could. I probably could start a bakery. I probably could make cookies and sell them, but excuse me, but who needs my cookies? No, somebody wants your cookies. Like, so you make them. But I'm not like, Nabisco. You don't have to be Nabisco. You don't have to be the big brand selling to everybody. No, no, no. Just you make a few cookies, sell them to somebody. And then they buy your cookies and they're like, these cookies are great. Can I order some more? Then you get a little confidence. You're like, sure, I can make another batch. And then they take those cookies to work and they put them on their desk and they're eating. And then somebody walks by, hey, can I have one of those cookies? Sure, you can have one. Oh my gosh, these cookies are so good. Where'd you get them? I got them from Betty Ann. She made these cookies. Oh, can I order some? Right? Like, before long, people are paying you, and then your finances change because you took a a risk. You decided to go through the pain of the process of getting into the kitchen late at night when you could be sleeping, but instead you're up, you're working on recipes and you're trying to figure things out, and you're like, I'm gonna make this thing happen. Let me just tell you, like, there's something magical, not really magical, but there's something special about you working on your thing. And then you start working on it and you start thinking about it. And then you get to this moment where when you're going to put it out to people, and then people like can reject it. Like, you're totally vulnerable, but it's good. Like, that's a good thing. When you go through this process, it strengthens you. This is the pain of the process, and this pain leads you into your potential. You're like, oh, I have some potential. Let me try this. Let me do this. There's some possibility. Let me try it. Let me do it. And then you're creating, and then you put it out there, and maybe no one wants it. That's okay. You go back into the lab and you start working on it again, and then you put it out there, and before long you keep trying and you keep developing and you keep putting it out there, and you go back to the lab and you're working on it and you put it out there, and guess what? After a while, you are growing. Things are looking different. Your mindset is changing because all along the way, you're looking for answers to help you to that next level because you are so committed. This is the key. You're so committed to this decision. You are so committed to the pain of this process that you're like, no, 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 I'm not stopping here because if I stop here, then that means I'm going back to the old pain. I don't want to go back to the old pain because that old pain was just pain that was going to leave me there and it had me just sitting. I don't want to just sit. I have possibility and I have potential for my life. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to commit to this pain because this pain is moving me somewhere. Like that's what you want. You want pain that's going to have a purpose. The gym, going to the gym, this is why I think everybody should go to the gym. Everyone should exercise. Everyone should work out, not just work out. You should resistance train. Why should you resistance train? Because resistance training teaches you about resistance. It teaches you a very important lesson, a lesson about how resistance causes you to break down so that you can be stronger. It teaches you that resistance training requires a certain amount of nutrition so that your muscles can build up so that you can be stronger. Resistance training teaches you that I need a certain amount of rest so my muscles can recover so that I can be stronger. Like resistance training is training for life. Right? Like you need to meet some resistance. You need to know that you can do it. And here's the thing about resistance training. When you go to the gym, you control all of the dynamics, right? You control all of the factors. You get to decide what weight you're going to pick, how many reps you're going to do. And so going to the gym and training is really for life, right? You go and you're training in the gym, and what happens is you're controlling all the factors. And I tell people all the time, like, listen, if you fail in the gym, you're going to have a tough time in life. Because in the gym, you control all of the factors. And if you are going to give up and quit on yourself in a situation where you control all the factors, there's a great chance you're going to quit when you go out of those doors and you go into life and you cannot control everything. So you need to train how to be strong so that when you go into life, you're like, oh yeah, no, I remember this. I remember this when I got to that final rep and I was pushing and I began to quiver and my muscles were giving out and I began talking to myself and telling myself, no, keep pushing, push past this, finish your rep, finish. Don't quit right here. You remember sweating in the gym. And then when you're in your house late at night and you're working on your blueprint and your plan and you're designing something, you're going to remember, you're going to start getting tired and you're going to say, no. I got some past history on this. I know what I can do. I can keep pushing. I know I can push through this. I know it. I know I can do this. Then you push through. And you're like, yep. Now, because I finished my task for the night, now I can go rest. I finished what I said I was going to do today. Today, I said I was going to knock these things off of my list. I finished the pain of this process. I finished it for today. And tomorrow, I'm going to look for my next first thing, my next first step. That's what I'm going to look for. And you start getting into this groove, you start getting into this rhythm, and before you know it, you're looking real strong. Your life is looking real different because you had two pains and you decided, I'm going to use the pain. I'm choosing. I am not only choosing it, but I am committing to the pain of purpose and the pain of this process because this pain moves me. I'm not choosing this pain that is just going to leave me sitting here. I'm not choosing the pain that's just going to have me like committed to managing a miserable situation. No good. So think about it, right? There's something in your life right now. We all have it, right? We all have it. There are things in our lives right now that we can look at and we say, all right, I'm tired. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of living this way. I'm tired of this situation. I'm done with this. Right? You know that you're done with something. Okay. So since you're done with it, then what you're going to look for is what is the pain of change that I get to commit to? What's the thing what is the action that is going to counteract this pain? Right? Like, I've been sitting here way too long. I'm so tired of being out of shape. All right. If you're tired of being out of shape, what is the pain? What is the change that you can make? What's the action that would counteract you being out of shape and you being tired of it? What is it that you can do? What's your next first step? Like, okay. All right. I am going to commit to changing my diet. I am going to commit to hiring a personal trainer. I am going to commit to exercising every day. Like, I'm going to commit to getting sleep, right? So you start to think about, all right, what are the commitments that are going to cost me so that I can change my life? And then you think about it, and then you take action on it. Right? That's the key. You see the pain, and you say, I'm changing because I want freedom from that. And I'm not really worried about what other people think about me. I'm not, I'm unbothered that, and I get this one a lot, right? Like, I don't want to go to the gym. I'm too heavy to go to the gym. All right. What can you do though? What can you do at home? Right? If you don't feel comfortable there, that's fine. What can you do at home? What can you do in some private place that will get you going? Don't let that one place keep you from going. Right? Oh, I feel like I'm too old to go back to school and learn. Okay. Well, how can you get going? What can you do so that you can learn the thing that you say you want to learn? It's okay. Like, if you struggle with this, it's fine. Where's a safe space where you can learn, where you can grow, where you can get plugged in? Find your space. I don't really know much about business and finance. Okay. Where can you go? Who can you connect with so that you can begin to learn? Because if all you want to say is, like, if all you want to do is look at the opposition and where the ridicule might come from, and if you're going to let that stop you, you're signing up to stay in pain. And that's not what we're here for. We're not here to have that conversation. We're not here to just repeat that same cycle. So let's admit first, yeah, I'm in pain right now. This situation, it hurts me. This situation, it doesn't feel good. This situation is so uncomfortable. This situation is beneath me living my best life. This situation is not it. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of driving this car. I'm tired of living in this neighborhood. I'm tired of these people that I see. I'm tired of this business, this job that I'm at. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of living in this country that I'm in. Whatever it is, like, like whenever you just come to that conclusion that you're tired of it, okay, it's time to pick a new pain, and that pain is going to help you step into your possibilities. Right? That's the pain of purpose. And you want that. Let it move you. But it's up to you first. It's got to be your commitment. Everything that you want is just a decision away. Your next decision is going to put you on a path in a particular direction. So what's that decision going to be? Will you be like me, who 15 years later still does not know how to play the guitar? No, don't do that. Don't do that. Like, go play the notes. Play your first note. I'm excited to see the band that starts. There's like, from this conversation, there's going to be a band that starts. That is pretty cool. I'm thrilled about this. I'm like, that's great. But what about you? What are you going to do with this? I pray that you do something, that you take action. Have the adventure of your life. All right. Let's pray. Let's be done. Father, thank you for this day that you have made for us to rejoice and be glad in. Thank you for an opportunity to be together, to learn, to grow, to develop. Thank you for this opportunity to understand pain and how we can either sit with it and do nothing, or we can choose pain that is going to help us to step into possibilities and purpose and into the process of change. I pray for each and every person that is evaluating their lives right now, the ones that are here as we are live, those that are on team replay. I thank you for each and every person. I pray that they would consider their life and take action. Consider what could be and embrace the fact that they are having moments to live it out, that they have breath right now in their lungs so that they can achieve those thoughts, those dreams, those aspirations, those hopes. They have talents that are waiting to be awakened. I pray that someone would awaken their gift. I pray that someone would discover talents that have been hidden within them for far too long. I pray that they would just uncover those things and reveal them to the world, that they wouldn't worry about how many people are going to hear the song, but that they would just sing the song, that they would direct the movie, that they would go on the date, that they would start their health and wellness journey, that they would take action for life and life more abundantly. That we won't just be here living out our dash, waiting for it to come to an end, but we would do something with these moments so that we don't have to live with regret. And I pray that life would become exciting and fun and enjoyable, and that in these actions and taking action, we would develop healthy and strong relationships that would enrich our lives, that we would see amazing things, go amazing places, have amazing experiences, and that life would just become even the more rich because we said yes to the pain of process, the pain of possibility, and the pain of purpose. As blessings upon each one as we go our separate ways, I pray that you would encamp angels about us, keeping us safe from harm and danger, whether it be seen or unseen. We thank you in advance for these things. In Jesus' name, amen. All right. Thank you all for being here. I truly appreciate you. You are fantastic, and I'm already excited for you because I know you're going to take action. So since you're taking action, congratulations. Let me be the first to congratulate you on the thing that you are going to do, right? Take your steps. Have a fantastic night. I'm B.A. Shepherd, 2Ps ARD, reminding you to be a shepherd. The world has enough sheep. I love you much. See ya.